Hi, everybody. Welcome to Manitowoc Cooperative Ministry Daily Devotions. I'm Pastor Judine Duerwaechter, co-pastor with the MCM, and it's my turn to bring you a week of daily devotions. And we're going to start today with Psalm 127. And it's super short and sweet, so I'm going to read it in its entirety to you. However, I got to put a little shout out to my friend Judy and Pete. I'm not going to read it from my Women's Study Bible that you gifted me with, Judy. Don't be mad at me. I'm going to offer all of the daily devotions this week from a unique translation. It may be very new to you, from The Message. The Message is a biblical translation basically of the 21st century. So it takes our scripture and it uses a language that is really common for our ears today. So we're going to hear all the Psalms this week from The Message. So again, let's begin with Psalm 127. If God doesn't build the house, the builders only build shacks. If God doesn't guard the city, the night watchman might as well take a nap. It's useless to rise early and go to bed late and work your worried fingers to the bone. Don't you know he enjoys giving rest to those he loves? Don't you see that children are God's best gift, the fruit of the womb, his generous legacy? Like a warrior's fist full of arrows are the children of a vigorous youth. Oh, how blessed are you, parents, with your quivers full of children. Your enemies don't stand a chance against you. You'll sweep them right off your doorstep. So again, 127, kind of short and sweet. This is really a psalm based on God's blessing, I think, of a home, where whether you're building something, building a home, whether you are guarding something, which we all do, or whether you're simply resting in life, the psalmist is asking us, are you doing these things in vain? Meaning, how much thought do you give toward God or toward the aspect of love as you are working, as you are raising children, as you are resting? I mean, I think that this is so easy for us to kind of misrepresent our priorities in life because we're always so busy, trying to get somewhere, right? And I get that. I'm a big fan of just being in the present moment, however, but I have spent an enormous amount of my life trying to get somewhere. And it's so funny that when you invest, let's say, like, for example, for me, when you invest, $100,000 in education to get to a place where I received a call for ministry, and then you're there, etc. And then you work through ministry. For you, it may be, of course, a different vocation. But there is always this sense that it's not done or there isn't enough in that moment. We're always on to the next thing. And this psalmist is basically inviting us to, if we're going to be on this mission in life, be on it with God in every moment. Be on it in love in every moment. Like I always like to say, live to love. I know very well what it's like to spend a lifetime doing something, getting somewhere, creating something, and you end up oftentimes doing all of that in vain. It doesn't necessarily take away, maybe let's just say, some deep-seated internal void, right? You can accomplish all of these things, but there's always still something deeply seated that just doesn't get fulfilled. And what the psalmist clearly knows is that it is only in God that anything is ever worthwhile, friends. That's just the bottom line. So, in other words, it's only in love, as you move through something, to move through it in love. That's the bottom line. Everything else is really quite futile in a sense, and we've created amazing things, in this world. Is it to the glory of love, or is it to the glory of a sense of accomplishment for oneself, which is kind of ego-based? So my invitation for you in this devotion is to be fully present in the present moment. And whatever it is that you're doing, whether it's based on your work, whether you are simply resting, whether you are building something, whether you are growing your family, maybe you're creating a beautiful garden like I love to do. It's all for the purpose of love in some sense that someone else is going to receive, from that. And again, it happens in the present moment only. Don't be anxious about the future, in other words. That's all fear-based. Actually, the future never gets here, because as soon as it is here, it's the present moment. And don't be, quote, anxious about the past either. We call that depression. It's neither one of them actually exist if you think about it. The past doesn't exist. The future doesn't exist. We always only have this present moment. And in this present moment, love presides. And that is what the invitation in this psalm is all about today. Not to do what you do in vain, but to do what you do in the moment, in love, in great love. I hope this was helpful for you today. As always, remember to live to love, and I will see you tomorrow for our MCM Daily Devotion. Take great care until then. Bye now.